Hello, everyone. This is Gordon Landefeld, sitting in for Juan Carlos Brandos, who is enjoying his honeymoon with his beautiful wife and will return next week. Welcome to Margaret W. Wong's question and answer show with the immigration attorney who has enjoyed awards and praise from U.S. Best News law firms, super lawyers, and is AV preeminent for her excellent immigration law results. She has practiced immigration law for 44 years, so it's my honor and pleasure to introduce Margaret W. Wong to answer your questions. She has won all kinds of immigration law cases for clients, and she would like to share this expertise with you. Be sure to share this video with your friends and tell them this program is already live. And the attorney's answers on this show are free, so you don't have to pay for watching, listening, and learning from Attorney Wong. So please join us, ask your questions free, and Mrs. Wong will answer them. You can meet with Margaret Wong in person or by telephone. Margaret Wong will be in Columbus, Ohio tomorrow, December 10th, and in Nashville on Friday, December 17th. You may text your questions during this live Facebook program, but if you wish to ask Mrs. Wong questions directly during a consultation at her office or on the telephone, you may call her at 216-279-3984, 216-279-3984. Margaret W. Wong and Associates has offices in Atlanta, Chicago, Cleveland, Columbus, Memphis, Minneapolis, Nashville, New York City, and Raleigh, North Carolina. But it's my pleasure to say hello to Mrs. Wong today. Mrs. Wong, how are you doing today?
I'm very good, Mr. Gordon. And Mr. Gordon and I worked together for a long, long time.
As we read the questions coming into Facebook, would you please address the reactivation of the program stay in Mexico? What does it mean?
See, right now it's weird because every time they have stay in Mexico, there's objections from politicians, and then politicians say it's okay. So really what that means is that if you want to come illegally in America or apply for asylum in that long line in America, you need to remain in Mexico and wait for your chance to come back to the border to do your fingerprints, and you have to wait in Mexico at the borderline there. So it's not like you have to travel for hours and hours, and then you have to come in for the interview and wait for the results. It's the same as when you already come to America, you're staying in jail, because in order to do a credible fear, you need an appointment to meet with the officer and a translator. And then the officers who are specially trained for this type of work would assess you with credible fear. If they feel you're credible on the forms, there's like a 10-page form, they'll put down pass. Then the next thing is, if you fail, of course, if you pass, you're allowed to come through. But if you failed, you also have a right to ask the judge to hear your story. But during the waiting, you also have to wait in Mexico. Wait in Mexico is English, it's common sense. It's just when you want to apply for fear because you were threatened by gangs, you were raped, you were sexually violated, then you have the right to, you still could apply for asylum, but you have to wait in Mexico. It's very same as running away, like in other countries like India, China, Russia. You know how in the olden days, you have people who try to sneak into the American embassy or the Norway embassy or the Swedish embassy and apply for asylum, because once you get into that safe sanctuary, you can apply for asylum. But laws throughout now are evolving, because you couldn't just get into an American embassy and apply for asylum. 100% you could, but they'll deny you. That's why they have to come through the border. And I don't know if you like to read spy novels, all those John le Carre in the early days, like the Russian era, how they're trying to save the spies or something in Russia. So they have to go back to the American embassy with the Russian people. Those are the same as the asylum, but instead of waiting in Russia to be murdered before they get approval, they sneak them into the American embassy. Now they apply for asylum.
Thank you for that answer, Ms. Wong. You may text your questions during this live Facebook program, but if you wish to ask Mrs. Wong questions directly during a consultation at her office or on the telephone, you may call her at 216-279-3984. That's 216-279-3984. The first question we have today: I have a TN visa and I want to change jobs. Can I do it? If so, what are the steps to follow?
Okay. There's only two countries that qualify for TN because two countries contiguous to America. You have Canada on the north, Mexico on the south, bordering three states, which is Arizona, California, and Texas. So the fact that you're asked in this English channel could be from Canada and Mexico, but the laws remain the same. Actually, Mexican TN visa is a little bit harder than Canadian visa. TN visa is employer specific, which means that whenever you change jobs, you need to do a TN. You can either return to Mexico and do a new TN, which I won't do. I would just do a change of employer TN in America because the first one was approved. The second one should be pretty easy to get approval. But anytime you want to travel, because a lot of TN people, because they're very knowledgeable and educated, TN visa holders, whenever they leave, they can also come back with the same visa, but show them the new employer TN approval. Then you can still come in. So you really don't need the stamp.
Thank you for that answer, Mrs. Wong. Just to let you know that Mrs. Wong will be in Columbus, Ohio tomorrow, December 10th, and she will also be in Nashville next Friday, December 17th. If you wish to make an appointment for a consultation on those dates, please call us at 216-279-3984, 216-279-3984. Another question came in on Facebook. I came to the U.S. 2 years ago, undocumented, but my wife and two kids are still in Cuba. My asylum is still pending. If they cross the border through Mexico, will I have problems with my asylum?
Absolutely no problem. That's a very, very good question. Let me explain why the concern. Cubans before Trump, actually during Biden, and before even Biden, have always dry soil, dry. Now the law is old now, so I don't remember. But dry soil, wet feet. That means anytime you even came in with a rubber tire, anytime you touch land, even undocumented, you're allowed to get a green card right away. That's why people say it's not fair. Haiti is right next to Cuba, but Cuba can do that, Haiti can't. So now the law is if you came validly on a visa, you can immediately get a green card. But if you came undocumented, you still have to go through the whole asylum process. And that's why this person is smart. He said, I'm undocumented, so I got to apply for a Cuban asylum, which means he already have a work permit. Now he probably saved up enough money. Now his wife and the two kids are coming also undocumented now. Another thing Cubans are doing is they get a third country passport, like they go to Ecuador, they go to Uruguay. And now that's why those countries are filled with Cuban people, because now they get their passport. Now they can apply for a tourist visa, come to America. Because they're born in Cuba, they enter legally. Once they come to America, they immediately get a green card. And better yet, if they marry a Ukrainian, a Russian, an Indian, a Chinese, because they are Cubans, that person also get a green card. So it's really, that's why I love what I do. It's just that you have to learn it and work the system, work the cases. In this case, absolutely would not affect because I think his question is illegal transport. With the fact that the wife and the two kids come, would he be charged with illegal transport? No, you'll be okay. And I wish them very luck because it's a very dangerous journey. And congratulations. But maybe check going to end up, but it's difficult because now all the countries are closing their doors now, I heard. Sorry about that. But the Chinese people now, instead of going to Canada to get Canadian passports to come to America, they're actually going to Mexico. And the Mexicans are running to America. But the Chinese now, they're getting Mexican passports to come to America on tourist visa or E2 visa, L1 and stuff like that. So the world is changing. The world order is changing.
Thank you for that answer, Mrs. Wong. You may text your questions during this live Facebook program, but if you wish to speak with Mrs. Wong directly and ask her questions during a consultation, at her office or on the telephone, you may call her at 216-279-3984. That's 216-279-3984. Again, she will be in Columbus, Ohio tomorrow, December 10th, and in Nashville on Friday, December 17th. We have another question that came in on Facebook here. I'm from Bangladesh, doing my bachelor's here in Illinois. I don't have more money to continue studying, so what can I do? How can I keep my student visa?
That's a very, very good question. So student visa is an F1 visa. There's another type that's J1, but that's more an exchange program. So I'm presuming, I'm 99% sure this person is here on a student visa. And the Hong Kong student visa now, they're getting special treatments because of the Hong Kong problem. But the student visas from Bangladesh is not getting. So the question is, I don't have enough money to pay my tuition. If I don't pay my tuition, I'll become undocumented illegal in America. So what do? First, go talk to your school to see if you have, get a letter from your sponsor. So your uncle could have been a sponsor, your parents could have been a sponsor, or you may have an American sponsor. You need to get a letter from a sponsor to explain why suddenly they, couldn't do the sponsorship anymore. Go talk to a FSA, the Foreign Student Advisor. We call them FSA. And explain to the situation. If you have been in a school program for more than a year, which is more than 9 months, because calendar year is 12 months, a birthday is 12 months, a tax return is 12 months, but school year is 9 months, all right? So after 9 months of an F1 program, you could ask for economic hardship work permit. There are 3 types of work permit on a student visa F1 program. One is CPT, OPT, and economic hardship. You have an economic hardship now. If they're willing to give you an I-20 sign on the 3rd page and the 2nd page authorizing an economic hardship work permit, you can get a work permit every year until you graduate, and then of course you can get your OPT. So explain that to the school for economic hardship work permit. Now, another 2 work permits OPT. So for example, you're going to a junior college, associate degree, then after that you can get 12 months of OPT. Then within 90 days of that OPT period, you could get a job offer, and you have to make sure the SEVIS, SEVIS officers get a copy of that, then you can work full-time. The 3rd type, but you're only getting a bachelor's, you may already have a bachelor's at home. So if you can get into a CPT program, so for example, the school says no, but you already have a bachelor's. So if you get into a master's program, some masters in some schools have a CPT program where you can work full-time, but you need to continue to go to school at least for 1 to 2 days a week full-time. So sometimes these schools, they're kind. So to let you go to school like on a Friday and Saturday, or Friday and a Monday, so you can at least work full-time the rest of the 3 or 4 days. That's a CPT program. So see if you can get on these F1 CPT. If not, get yourself a J1 program. J1 is also a work permit program, but you need to Google. There are like 400 or 500 J1 programs in America. They're totally controlled by the U.S. Department of State. They're not controlled by ICE, which is the SEVIS program. The SEVIS program controls the M1 and F1. I presume even though you're a student, you're on an F1. But talk to the FSA and get a letter, get some proof that your sponsor could not support you to the level of the former commitment.
Excellent information, Mrs. Wong. Thank you so much. Just to remind you, when she is in Columbus tomorrow on December 10th, she's also in Nashville next Friday on December 17th. She is also in Cleveland meeting with clients every other day. So there are many opportunities to see Ms. Wong in consultation. And to make that consultation appointment, you may call 216-279-3984. That's 216-279-3984. You may also text us at 216-566-9908. 9908. Another question came in on Facebook Live. This is no name right here, but it says, I am a computer engineer. I have 2 specializations. I am currently living in France, but I'm from Colombia. I have a friend who has a technology company. What do we need to do for him to apply for me? Thank you so much.
Unfortunately, American immigration law only concerns themselves with degrees. So at one time, even Bill Gates would not have gotten an H-1B because he never graduated from college. But in the early days, computer scientists is not considered even an H-1B because they're more programmers, coders, so they don't need a degree. So of course, now laws have changed. So you need an H-1B visa. Once you get the job offer, you can apply in February 1st. It's a lottery program. So go to the uscis.gov website, put the employer's name on there and put your name on there, see if you get into a lottery. By April 1st, you'll find out if you get into the lottery. They give you normally April 1st to April 5th or April 1st to April 20th. You can file the H-1B. H-1B consists of prevailing wage. So the employer have to pay you prevailing wage, and they prefer that the end user is the same. So they prefer in-house engineers than consulting firms where you go, the end user is different each time. So there's a labor certification, LCA attestation, there's a L1A, there's a H1B. But if you get a green card, there's a perm that you also need an LCA. So LCA is different from the H1B. It's just complicated. So you need an H1B. The earliest you can come to America, even if you get H-1B, is every year before September 1st, September 15th, because you cannot start work until after October 1st. So on the other hand, depends on what you're doing now. If you own your own business, and if the business sales volume are very high, you can also do an L1, L1A, if you form at least 51% owned partnership or company in America. That's an L1 case. I don't remember if Colombia is an E country, like Canada is an E country, Korea is an E country. So you may want to do an E visa. So the whole thing is, instead of looking, I know it sounds really stupid, always think visa. What visa can I do it in America? And then you see if you qualify for that visa and then fight for that visa. And then most visas in America is all job offer related. There's only 3 ways to really come to America to work. One way is employment-based, job offers, partnership with established companies. The second way is family-based, grandparents, spouse, and children over 21 can sponsor us. The third way is investment visa, either $500,000 or the 1 million. The law changed at the end of June. There was a time investment visa is always easier to do regional center. It's $500,000 and raise up to 800,000 to 1.6 million. And now it's $500,000 direct investment. So as long as you invest more than $500,000 in the underserved area for direct, that means you have to do you have to yourself invest. You cannot just, or you can buy franchises, McDonald's, Subways, or build your own restaurants or motels or stuff like that, then you can get a green card. These are the only 3 ways: 526, I-140, and I-130. There's a religious worker, the 360s, the widows, those are the specialists. And religious worker is huge.
Thank you, Mrs. Wong. This is the magic of speaking with Margaret Wong. When you ask her one question, 20 other things occur to her because immigration law is so varied. Thank you. You may text your questions during this Facebook Live, but if you wish to speak with Mrs. Wong directly, please call 216-279-3984, 216-279-3984. We have another question here. Ms. Wong, I got married in France I got married in France, moved with my wife to the US. Now we are divorced. I am dating a US citizen now. My question is, do I need to file the divorce in France? Is it a problem that I was married to a woman and now it's a man? People change love, and love changes too. Thank you so much.
Okay, if you can add your question, how did you come to America? You married a woman. I don't know if you came on a green card or you just married her and came on a tourist visa, but that's okay. So that depends. If you came on a green card, did you get the 2-year green card? So you have to extend it. I won't even worry about dating and other American men or women because immigration always looks at the bona fideness of the first relationship, especially if you have a CR1 or IR1. CR1 is a conditional green card that's only good for 2 years. If you enter America from France on a CR1, that means you only have a conditional green card. I don't know if it's expired yet. If not, if you divorce and you can file a 751 within 4 months before the expiration. Actually, if you're divorced, you should file. If I were you, I would file the 751 within 1 day of the final judgment entry. If you're not divorced, you should file the 751 within 4 months. But here it sounds like you're already separated and you're divorced. And it's okay. So they always look at the bona fides. I would try not to marry this person first, file a 751 based on divorce and explain why you got divorced. Love is not slavery. And love, it doesn't mean that now that you grew up, you came to America, which is a lot more freedom than the EU countries. People think Europe is very liberal, that no country is better than America when it comes to freedom of choosing. I won't worry about your case. You have a beautiful case. And the most beautiful thing is you are in America. All right. Before we came to America, we worried we cannot come. Now that we came, we worry we cannot get a 10-year green card. After you get a 10-year green card, you worry about how you come out or something. And then after that, you worry about, can I ever become a citizen? And then after that, you worry, I need a good job. I want, to have retirement. We are always worried and life is too short. So don't worry. You are fine.
Thank you, Ms. Wong. Thank you for that answer. You may text your questions during this Facebook Live. But if you wish to ask Mrs. Wong questions directly during a consultation at her office or on the telephone, you may call her at 216-279-3984, 216-279-3984. We have time for one more question, Mrs. Wong. My husband is from Canada, and I'm a U.S. citizen. We have a difference of 14 years of age, and my attorney doesn't think our marriage is real. I'm worried that because he thinks it's not real, then the immigration officer will also think the same. What is a good evidence? We don't have kids because I'm over 50 and I got my tubes tied.
That's an interesting question. It's really not what us as attorneys feel. Sometimes us lawyers, most immigration lawyers, we're good people, we're honest people, because we really want to help people. If we don't want to help people, we'll probably go to the big law, we'll probably do, immigration work is so difficult. And it's so nuanced. And I see the same issue. He came on ESTA. So that means ESTA means it's a visa waiver case. It's only 90 days because France has a treaty with America and ESTA. So if it's only ESTA, then it's only 90 days. I don't know if he's here illegally or illegally. But on your question, I don't think it matters what the lawyer wants, and also the world have changed. Sometimes I tell my clients the same thing. The woman is in her 60s, the man is only in their 30s. What are you guys doing? Blah, blah. It could be I'm just having a bad day. So maybe reaffirm. It doesn't matter what the lawyer wants. The whole thing is, if only 3 people went to your wedding, we need to know why, because the lawyer, sometimes we ask a lot of questions because whatever the lawyer asks you, immigration asks you the same thing, especially us. Like if I do an Atlanta case, it's different than when I do an Ohio case because Atlanta officers are different. It's more aged officers, so they are more mean, but they are also older. They see the world. Some of them have grandchildren. Anytime you have children or grandchildren, it sort of opens your eyes to how young people are nowadays. Nashville have a very newer office. People there are young, they're tougher. Young people, we want to prove to the world we're good. I still remember when I was a young lawyer, I always want to tell myself, Margaret, you need to be tough. You need to let them know you're not pregnant. You'll take care of them because once they know a woman is pregnant, they don't, so life changes. And I don't necessarily think if we need the lawyers to understand, but they do ask a lot of questions, try to work with the lawyer, because most of us, we are trying to help you get your green card. And the more they doubt, it makes them better lawyers, because if you're too comfortable, you don't win cases. You always need that edge and that anger and that fire in you to say, I'm going to win your case. And they'll win.
Thank you, Mrs. Wong. That's an excellent question. And that fire is what we all need, especially our clients who wish to win their cases.
Mr. Gordon. We are very good friends, by the way. Yeah.
And in order to, Ms. Wong, as she talks about our other offices, we do have offices in Atlanta, Chicago, Cleveland, Columbus, Memphis, Minneapolis, Nashville, New York City, Raleigh, North Carolina. That's all of the questions we have time for today, but we look forward to speaking with you next week, Thursday at 12:30, Facebook Live. Also, we do have the Wednesday noon Facebook Live in Spanish. And so, yes, we look forward to talking with you. If you wish to speak with Ms. Wong directly, please call her at 216-279-3984. That's 216-279-3984. And thank you, Ms. Wong. Thank you so much for your time today. And we look forward to speaking to you again.
Thank you, Mr. Gordon. Thanks for helping us.